Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers versus Cleveland Browns Week 14 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between various data points. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So, starting with this matchup between the Packers and the Browns. When you look at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data essentially looks at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and of course how the special teams is doing. And based on all of that information and data, when you look at the overall stuff, the Green Bay Packers are pretty much favored in this game for the most part. But let's get into some reasons why. First off, the Packers are favored because they have a better turnover ratio, which basically is the issue that the Browns have continually had this year. They turn the football over way too much. And as a result, you're going to lose a lot of football games if you have a 2.83 overall turnover percentage. That's out of every team since 1998. That's how bad the Browns have been this year when it comes to creating turnovers on offense, which is not good, which is something the Packers don't have, which is why they're favored. On top of that, offensive score percentage, which is basically the ability to put points on the board. The Browns have not been able to do that this year. The Packers have at least been above average since 1998 when it comes to that, and as a result, that's another reason why they're heavily favored in this game. Now, the Browns do have a better sack percentage, meaning that they don't allow as many sacks as the Packers do. However, it doesn't really matter if you have a turnover ratio the way that the Browns do, and it also doesn't matter if you have the offensive score percentage the way that the Browns do as well. When you go to the defensive side of the ball, the Browns do have some advantages. Defensive offensive score percentage is one area where the Browns are kind of favored. Basically meaning that their defense is able to kind of prevent more points. Then, of course, when you look at turnover ratio, the Packers are pretty much there. The Packers pretty much have it when it comes to the sexy things. They typically get more turnovers, they get more sacks, and they get more interceptions. So defensively, the Browns are better in respect to preventing points, but they're not exactly better when it comes to getting sexy plays like turnovers, sacks, interceptions, plays that essentially can change the tides in games. You know, these are basically plays that can fundamentally change games, if you will. And then, of course, when you look at punting average data, the Packers are favored there. Kick returns, the Browns are favored. Defensive punt returns, the Packers are favored. Defensive kick returns, the Packers are favored. Defensive punt returns, defensive kick returns, the Browns are favored. Then, of course, you get to field goal percentage, which is something I continually tell you guys each week. The most important metric when it comes to special team statistics is field goal percentage based on all the data, and that is the area where the Packers are favored. Then, of course, you get to extra point percentage where the Browns are favored, punting average where the Browns are favored, and then finally you have, basically all the other sort of data combined, which again favors the Packers. So, for the most part, the Packers have the better offense. The Packers have the better defense when it comes to getting plays to change the outcomes in games. And I also would give the special teams advantage to the Packers as well due to their field goal percentage, which is not amazing, but it is better than the Browns. Because it's better than the Browns, you're going to see a lot of success, because of that. Now, when you get to some other sort of matchups, so getting into some down and distance split success sort of areas, basically micro matchups. When you look at completion percentage data between the Browns offense and the Packers defense, in this particular area, the Packers are favored on second and third down. The Browns, in many ways, have the worst second down completion percentage in the NFL, on top of having the worst third down completion percentage in the NFL. If you want to know why your offense is as bad as it is, it's because of these issues with completions. And the basic way to kind of explain it to some people, because some people ask me at times, like, why does completion percentage matter? If you're completing the football, you're giving yourself opportunity for a positive play to happen. If you're not completing the football, a positive play is not going to happen. You know, a negative play is not going to happen, but also a positive play is not going to happen. And if you have a very low completion percentage, you're limiting the amount of positive plays that could occur as a result. And that's the biggest issue with the Browns offense this year, especially when it comes to passing downs. Now when you get to the Packers offense, so this is the Packers offense versus Browns defense when it comes to completion percentage. And in this area, the Packers are favored on first and second down. Then you cut to rushing down. So this is the Browns offense versus the Packers defense. The Browns are favored on second and third down when it comes to this particular data point. And again, rushing downs just basically deals with the ability to convert first downs with the run and various downs and distances. It has nothing to do with yardage. It has nothing to do with explosive plays. It has all to do with the ability to convert in those situations. Then, of course, you get to the Packers offense versus Browns defense when it comes to rushing downs. And in this particular area, the Packers are favored on first and third down. So I think the Packers will have some success, rushing the football in this game on those particular downs and distances. Then we get to passing downs, which is another area where the Browns have been flat out terrible. But there's good news. There's good news, ladies and gentlemen. The Packers are dreadful in terms of their passing defense. They are pretty much one of the worst, if not the worst, passing defenses in the NFL. And that's a good thing because of how bad the Browns are in terms of their passing offense. So this might actually be a game where you see some success with the pass, which might not happen, but this is the most likely shot you got in terms of this. And then, of course, you get to the Packers offense versus the Browns defense when it comes to passing downs. And in this particular area, the Browns are favored on second and third down. Then you get to sack rate between the Browns offense and the Packers defense. The Packers are favored on first and third down when it comes to sack rate. Then we get to the Packers offense versus the Browns defense when it comes to sack rate. And the Browns are also favored on first and third down. So essentially when it comes to sacks, the Packers will be able to get a lot of sacks, and I think the Browns will also be able to generate a lot of sacks. So this is going to be a very sack-heavy game. Like, both teams, I think, are going to trade sacks back and forth. Then when we get to interception ratio between the Browns offense and the Packers defense, massively favors the Packers offense. Well, not Packers offense, the Packers defense. And then, of course, you get to the Packers offense versus the Browns defense when it comes to interceptions. And the Packers are favored on first and second down, with the only down and distance to really pay attention to being third down, because that is where the majority of the Browns' ability to generate interceptions, turnovers, etc. happens on that particular down and distance. So, based on all of this information, based on all this data, what are my general feelings about this game? Well, I think that this is going to be a Packers victory. I do have some hope, and I've told Browns fans this before in previous videos, but I do have some hope that the Packers defense is so bad that this might actually be the first week where DeShone Kizer or the Browns offense in general has a lot of success. Like, this could be that sort of result where there is a lot more success because of those particular factors. But we'll see. Ultimately, though, the data does favor the Packers. I do like to side with the data, especially because of how bad the Browns have been. But this is the one game. This is the one game where I think there's a lot of things pointing towards the Browns potentially having a lot of success in this game if they play their cards right. So, of course, My name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.